Welcome back to Talkin' Shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, here with Garrett and Chad today. No Jess.
I thought you were going to call me Jesse, to be honest.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thought I was going to do it?
Yeah, you kind of paused.
I almost did it as well. I almost did it. No Jesse today, though. He's tied up in a meeting, so the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Chad, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. You on the live tour yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Close, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gotta
Very
be.
close.
I heard you're moving to a golf course, maybe.
Getting close.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
You're gonna own the golf course because you're so good now that you have to live on the golf course.
We'll find out Wednesday.
That's cool. That's pretty awesome and exciting.
Yeah.
That's an exciting thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chad, maybe we should go halves on like building a new golf course.
Halves.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Which half are you paying, Garrett?
Let me call Arnold.
I'll do the front nine, you do the back nine.
Garrett will take care of the concessions.
How about a beer?
I'll work the concessions, of course.
And that's not working when you're drinking all of your own. You're not selling anything. Guys, hold on a second.
I'll just have 4 to 5 beers to stop the shaking, and then I'll go outside.
And he's ready. But yeah, so last week I know we talked a little bit about the changing seasons. And one of those seasons that's changing right now is golf season. It's
Fall.
changing. It's fall.
Yeah,
It's my favorite time. We
My
talked about
favorite,
that.
too.
Talked about that last week. I love it.
It's cold in the morning.
Cold in the morning and the evening.
Yep.
Warm during the day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but it's so hard to get out of bed in the mornings. Now
Right.
when I wake up, that window's open, it's 50 degrees inside. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed.
Right, I agree.
I had that
100%.
trouble today.
Yeah.
And then you get out of the shower too, and it's a hot shower, and it's like super cold in your house still. You're like, this sucks.
My showers have been extended now because I'm like, oh, if I get out, it's cold. I don't want to get out. I'll just wait a few more minutes. Yeah, this morning I had that same problem though, man. I'm always here early. I'm like early every day. I only beat you by 5 minutes today, Chad.
And I get here at 7:59.
Yeah, I only beat you by 5 minutes today, Chad. It was cool. Trust me, a lot of people were looking at me funny when I pulled in at 7:50. I was like, yeah, it's been one of those mornings. But yeah, so like I said, changing the seasons. We talked about changing your business and things like that. And I just thought this week's episode we'll talk a little bit about empowering employees. I think that'll be a little bit fun.
Empowerment.
Yeah. Empowerment of your employees. Empowering your
fun.
employees.
We didn't talk about the weekend.
Let's talk about it then.
We didn't mention anything about the Twins game.
I was waiting for you to bring it up, to be honest with you. Yeah, we had some fun, didn't we?
That was a great time.
We went to the Twins game on Saturday. We brought ShopSabre, the group.
The group.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a lot of employees there, had a lot of their families there, kids. Good time.
Jesse flew back.
Jesse surprised us. That's why I'm so upset that he's not here right now. We might have to call him here in a second. Hopefully he'll be out of his meeting here, and then we can just call him. But yeah, he surprised us. I had no idea. I asked him multiple times if he wanted to come back to Minnesota for that, and he said, I can't, I'm busy, I can't. But apparently, Chad is a liar because he knew all about it.
You never asked me, so I didn't lie.
Well, fair. He didn't lie, but he kept secrets from me, and I don't like that. But Jesse lied to me on multiple occasions.
I don't blame him, to be honest.
I said,
that's
hey,
a good surprise.
It was great. I mean, I'm not mad at all, but it was impressive that you guys all kept it from me because I feel like I'm pretty observant and I can usually catch on to stuff. And the only inkling I had was Friday night. It almost got away because Brianna made a comment to me that I was like, that was a weird comment. Like, why would she say that? But then something came up right away after the comment. So I couldn't think about it, couldn't dwell on it. And I just moved past it and forgot all about the comment. And then the next day when I saw them, I'm like, that was that comment. And she was like, oh, I was so nervous that you got me on that one. I was like, come on, Brianna. Do better. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. They showed up and I caught him. Dude, he was walking he was a ways away at the stadium. And I just made eye contact. It was like a group of, you know what I'm talking about? Crowd of people, and you pick the one person out that you know. And it was that. Crowd of people walking my way, and I boom, that's Jesse. I know that beard. That thing is ugly. Got him. So, yeah, we made eye contact, and it was just like, dude, you're here. And then I saw his wife. And I was like, oh.
You're here.
You brought the horse. But no, it was great. I was so happy to see the two of them. Way too fast of a trip. That's the only thing I'm bummed about is that nobody told me they were coming because I would have moved my plans around Sunday morning. I had planned Sunday morning already, and I would have went and had breakfast with them and spent the time with them. But I'd already made plans, so Kind of stinks. They were only here for one day.
It was pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Early flight out.
Yeah, they were out pretty quick. But yeah, it was awesome. We had a good time. I mean, the game was awesome.
Even though they lost.
They lost. Well, they only played one inning though. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's the advantage that we had is that the Guardians played 9 innings. The Twins played 1 inning, the 9th.
And then Garrett was hanging out with their star athlete on Sunday.
Yeah, then Garrett,
was
you had a
on.
heck of a Sunday, didn't you?
It was a Sunday.
You and T-Pain were hanging out, I heard.
I got a picture with Mr. T-Pain himself. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so Garrett went to the Minnesota Vikings game versus the
did.
Packers,
I did.
which the Vikings won, just in case anybody's listening.
No
yeah.
cheese allowed.
Yeah.
No cheese.
like that? You like that?
Not,
So-
there isn't a better time to use
There
that
is
sound
no
bite than
better
right
time
now.
than now to use that soundbite.
Yeah, it
But-
was cool. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, you got to go in a box.
You know,
Garrett-
no, it's sweet, not a
Sweet.
box.
Sweet, I'm sorry. It's way different. Sweet, which is a box. But he's on the field. He was the field level. Got to hang out with the players, the DJ.
Yeah, it was a cool time.
What was the DJ's name?
DJ Ski.
DJ Ski
And T-Pain.
and T-Pain.
You
And
should have done
Garrett.
the wah, 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 wah.
I was trying to find it, to be honest with
Like
you.
DJ who and then yeah, there you go. DJ
I found
Ski
it.
in the house.
I don't know how to make it stop. Oh, there you go. Got it. Sorry about that. That last one was an accident. I was trying to shut it off. But yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then, yeah, the Vikings put on a heck of a showing. It was pretty good to see the Vikings pull out a win.
Fun to see football back.
Football's back.
Great to see football back.
Yeah. You know, I
No
know.
better time.
No better time.
No better time than the fall time. But yeah,
Waking up that Sunday morning,
Dude,
knowing football's
it's like
on,
Christmas.
it's just a different feeling.
It
It's
is.
like, oh, it's back.
you wake up and you're just like instantly like just, I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Well, then to watch the game on the field too to get.
I mean, that was cool too, but just in general, having football back is, I mean, I like watching football. I watch a lot of football, so
Yeah, watching the game from the field though.
yeah.
That's where it's at.
We done?
No,
No. No, I agree. Like, yeah, watching from the field would be cool. I never got to do that before, so that was pretty awesome.
been close, not that close.
How many hot dogs did you eat on Saturday?
None. I had about 12 chicken tenders.
I had
Those chicken tenders are amazing.
Oh,
out
dude,
there.
it's all good.
I had 4 hot dogs
All at once.
at once.
One bite
One
per
bite.
dog.
One bite. And then I also had
Glizzies.
I had I had a countless number of pretzel bite sticks.
Those were good.
Dude. I ate way too many of those. I was trying to convince my son to put some in his pocket. So these are good, kid. Bring them home. You
Last
wouldn't-
thing before we move on, Adam Thielen bumped into me.
You bumped into
So
Adam
I'm
Thielen?
never showering again.
That's why he smells.
I got his sweat on me, so I'm just gonna leave it.
He didn't have that good of a game, did he?
No, I think he only
6.6
had like
in my fantasy, in case you're wondering.
3 catches for like 28 yards. I think.
That's because he bumped into you.
Well, it's because we have Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
No, I think it's because he bumped into Garrett. I think you're right.
No.
It rubbed off.
He hurt his shoulder.
All
Unbelievable.
right, let's start empowering employees here.
Amazing how he wants to change the topic now. But yeah, so let's talk about empowering employees. Yeah, we we always talk about employment and employees and leadership, but I feel like when I listen to a lot of business owners talk, you see a lot of people who don't truly know what works or does not work for employee engagement. And one of those things, like, I think it's a good topic right now because employee engagement for us was like that Twins game on Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. Like getting the employees engaged, building that camaraderie. It's one of those things where it really was more about team building and about getting the team together and, rewarding the team for a lot of hard work. But I think a lot of places struggle with that employee engagement. I guess, what do you guys think about with regards to empowering employees? What comes to mind for you guys?
I don't know, letting employees make decisions, basically the opposite of micromanaging.
More freedom.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Being responsible for decisions that the employee makes.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Garrett? What comes to mind when you think about it?
Making them feel valued, that they're a part of your team for a reason, that they're worth it. Like build them up instead of putting them down.
I agree with that.
I think when you're a manager or higher up and you talk to your employees, that they can have a lot of they can carry a lot of weight. So you kind of got to be careful with how you talk to employees, and things can come off bad. So it's the empowering them would be make them feel like they have worth on your team.
Yeah, I think that's a good explanation of it. I personally think about allowing the employee to contribute to the business. You know, the business has processes and procedures in place for guidance. So if you've done, your job correctly, or in my case, if I've done my job correctly, they should be able to be successful without me having to micromanage everything, right? Mm-hmm. I've given them the tools to be successful. Give them the tools to be their own boss, right? It's like enterprise.
You can be your own boss.
You can be your own boss. No, but yeah, it's really about, what it is. It's trying to empower people to be able to make the right decisions for the company without you having to make every little decision. I think that's where a lot of business owners get in trouble. And it's not necessarily trouble, but it's like exhausting for them because they constantly have to make a decision on every little thing. And they do it because they don't trust everybody. And like they haven't empowered their employees enough to make the correct decisions. Where we try to, I think we're pretty good about that here at ShopSabre. We try to give each department and each individual manager enough leniency to control their own area so we don't have to make the overall decision for everybody. But then even one step further, like within our departments, the managers has some freedom to pass that, decision making in certain aspects onto the employee.
Yep.
Right? I think there's things that every one of us do daily that we kind of just do on our own. Garrett, I think a perfect example of what you do, right? You social media stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't think you and I have talked about a single social media post in how long.
Not often.
Like really, I don't have to worry. I trust that I've given you the power to make the decision of what you're going to post, what you're not going to post. And I think you're also respectful enough that when there is a questionable thing that you're going to post or that hey, should I do this? Should I not do this? You ask.
Yep.
Rather than just assuming, we always ask. And I think same goes for sales. Like you guys kind of know our limitations, right? Our terms and our conditions on what we can do and what we can't do. So I don't have to worry about reviewing every deal that you guys do because you guys kind of stay in your lane, right? Mm-hmm. And anytime something special comes up,
we talk about it.
Yeah, you bring it up to us. You say, hey, let's go through this together. And I think that's a big part of it. Our sales group here, they're not afraid to admit their faults, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I don't know this, so I'm going to ask for help, right?
Helen, we're both in sales. Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman.
And then we talk about it, right? So, yeah, no, it's great because we've empowered our sales team to be able to kind of run with the sale the way they need to within reason, right? Yep. And, let's talk a little bit about what it means to empower your employees because there's a lot of people maybe listening wondering what the heck does that even mean? But, in my opinion, with a business, you hire people to do a task, correct?
Correct.
And I think first off, a lot of people think they're paid for the hours that they put in, but they're really not. I mean, yeah, you putting in hours is how you get paid, but the reality is they're paid for the work they're doing during those hours. Mm-hmm. Very few employers are just going to pay you to show up and just be there, right? They might pay you for that week or 2 weeks, but it probably doesn't last very long if all you're doing is showing up and doing nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So the hours aren't actually what you're getting paid for. If you don't show up, you can't do the task that's at hand, right? That's why you don't get paid. You weren't there to do the task. It wasn't just because you just weren't there. Mm-hmm. Because again, showing up just is the minimum. Showing up is to get yourself started, right? Showing up is the only part of the equation, but the other part is functioning your job duties or the functionality of your job duties. Do the work, right? Mm-hmm. And so empowering your employees means giving them the ability to do what you need of them. If you are asking a sales guy to sell something, you have to give them a product that they can sell, right?
Correct.
If they have nothing, if I just said, Chad, sell something, but we don't have anything to sell, we're not going to build any more machines. It's probably going to be difficult for you to sell something, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're just going to sell them an empty basket, essentially. Not a whole lot of upside there. You have to give them the tools they need to do their job. A computer, phones. You have to give them, something for them to work with, quoting system, whatever it is. And you think about it and it's like, it seems like a no-brainer. When I say that, for a sales guy to be successful, you have to give him tools, you have to give him a price list, you have to give him a product, he has to know what you guys build. That seems pretty straightforward, right? But now let's go one step further, right? You have to give him leads, right? Because having all that stuff is nothing without a customer, right? Mm-hmm. Chad, here's a price list. Here's what we sell. This is what we do. Good luck.
Go find somebody.
Yeah, like your upside of that is a lot less than if I can hand you people who are interested in that product, right?
Correct.
And without customers, the greatest sales guys will likely fail. I mean, it takes a pretty outstanding person to make customers, right? Like you're going to have to be pretty capable to go out and, I mean, again, cold calling exists and obviously that, but again, there's still customers out there. If you have no customers, nobody wants the product, you're going to have a heck of time selling something.
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to think about that. Like if I told Chad, if I told you tomorrow, like, hey, we're going to start selling, cat paintings, it's probably a smaller market.
I would quit.
Yeah. I mean, I can't blame you. But, my point is like you have to have the right product for the market too.
Yep.
And so for a shop employee, let's look at it that way. Like everything I just said probably is pretty obvious to people. But let's take it to the next level, which maybe will catch some people off guard here. But it's for a shop employee, it doesn't always appear that easy, right? How do you empower a shop guy?
Give them the tools.
You have to give them tools still, right? Mm-hmm. And they need to perform the job, right? Whether it's, a mechanic needs a hoist or power tools or whatever. Chad, you came from the car industry, right? The mechanics had to have hoists. They had to have a tire machine. They had to have certain airlines. They have to do things, right?
Yep.
Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
Oh, yeah.
A lot, right?
We could go for the rest of the episode on
Correct, because there's that many tools.
Yep.
So
Screwdriver.
there you go. Nailed it. Now we got it. Wrench. Just keep randomly throwing out
Oil
tools.
filter.
Yeah. But that's the point is like, it's so obvious in those situations. But, for a sign maker, what do they need? For a cabinet maker, what does he need? Well, let's start with sign maker. What's some things that you think of for somebody who's in signs,
Installation tools.
Yeah. You got to be able to put the sign up, right?
Mm-hmm. Drills.
Yep, exactly. Cutting tools. Yeah, you got to cut the sign somehow, right? You got to make the sign.
I was thinking about installing.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
even there, we got to build the sign, right? Maybe a CNC router makes sense, right?
Automation.
Because you have to make that sign somehow. ShopSabre.com. Cabinet makers, beyond the cabinet, they still need edge banding, right? Paint, exactly. We've got to finish the cabinets. We got to do
Assembly.
Yeah, assembly. You got sanders. You got things like that you have to do. So, but again, maybe CNC router. They have to cut those parts out, right? Or you're buying them from somebody. ShopSabre.com. So really, when you look at it, it's so obvious what a salesman needs, but it's not as obvious what a shop guy might need. And a lot of guys, I think they overlook what they're doing to their shop guys. They just expect the shop guy to be productive because he has a set of skills. Well, the guy knows how to build a cabinet by hand. Why do I need to buy a CNC router? Why do I got to buy equipment, right? We got a table saw. Like, you're not empowering him. You're making his job harder because you're being cheap. Like, really, at the end of the day, because you don't want to spend the money to expand your business, you're going to hold your business back.
Yep.
And now you have to sit there and micromanage because your guys are not getting as much work done as you need them to get done. Well, they're tired. Like, you've burned them out.
They're sick of cutting it by hand.
Yeah, I mean, the two shops down the road have CNCs. They're looking at, man, I want to be at one of those shops. Like, I promise you, your guys are shopping. If you're not giving them the tools they need to do their job, they're going to find someone who's going to give them the tools. And that's part of empowering your employees. It doesn't mean you're giving the employee every little thing he wants. That's also, there's a point where employees will take advantage of you. I mean, that is going to happen, right? If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile sometimes, right? It's like kids. So I've learned that with my kids. Like, if I tell them yes to one thing, he thinks I'm going to say yes to the next three things. It's going to happen with employees. I get that. But there is a point where you're just saying no to say no. Like, does it make sense for you to have it? Like, Garrett, I mean, computers, cameras, some of the stuff that you have to do your job, right? Mm-hmm. We say yes to the things that make sense. But does that stop you from asking for more things?
Typically not.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to ask, right? Worst thing I can do is say no, right?
Right.
But when I say no to something, it doesn't automatically make me a bad guy. It just means it doesn't make sense for that.
Right.
Right? So it's that give-take situation where if the employee starts to trust that you're going to hear them out and actually consider their ask, they're more than likely going to not ask, for a ton of extra stuff. They're going to tell you what they really need to be efficient, and that's empowering them. You're giving them the ability to make the decision on what do I need to do the job. Mm-hmm. And here at ShopSabre, I think that's a thing that we do a lot with our shop. The guys can come to us and say, you know what, we need this new paint gun, or we need this new piece of equipment, this weld, or whatever. We know that if they're asking, it's because they need it, and it's going to help us. They're not going to ask for things they don't need because they also understand that, like, we're going to trust that they're making the right decision. So it's a give and take. We've empowered them, and now they're going to empower us with the information we need.
What do you always say? I give you the tools to be your own boss.
I give you the tools to be your own boss. But it's the truth. Like, it's a joke, obviously. We joke around about that phrase a lot because of the movie, but it's the truth, though. Like, I try to give you guys the tools that I don't have to sit there and micromanage you. And sometimes I actually hate that because I feel disconnected from you guys sometimes. Like, I get so busy with meetings and things going on that, like, there's days where I'm like, oh, hey, Garrett, you're still here. Good. You know, like, I only see you for what? 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I got to figure out what days you got those meetings and I can come in late. You want to know?
I mean, I guess that would probably work, except for Chad might rat you out to me.
He would.
Because Chad's going to be like, why can't I?
I would just start doing it the same days.
I have both Chad and Garrett gone. But, you know, whatever the job is, there's a way to improve the process. And when you empower your employees to do the job, they do it much more efficiently when you empower them. If you make their jobs hard, you're going to burn them out. We just talked about that, right?
And they're going to look for easier.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they're going to come up to you and they're going to maybe recommend some improving processes, right? Improving the environment. They're going to talk about things that they want to do, right? But if you're not willing to even listen, they're going to just stop bringing those things to you. And eventually your business starts to fall apart from the inside out because they all see what needs to happen, but you said no every single time. So why would I waste my time?
And how many great ideas did you miss out on?
Correct. And I've always said I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room ever. Some of the best ideas that we've had in this company come from outside influence. Mm-hmm. People see it before I can see it. Brandon, what if we did this? This would help us. Oh, I never even thought of that. You know, like, it's okay to be wrong. And there's been times that I swear we have the greatest idea ever. I come up with something that's the greatest, grandest idea ever, and it's a total failure. It just does not work. And it's being okay with accepting that responsibility that, guys, I let you down. It didn't work. What I thought was going to work did not work at all. We're going to go back to the drawing board. Right? We've had that happen with systems around here, right? We bought software, done certain things, and it didn't turn out the way we had hoped. But we have moved past it. Okay, what's better? How can we find a new answer, right?
Yeah, and you learn.
Yeah. We've had different, as an example, people sign our quotes, right, digitally.
Yep.
We've had a handful of those signing programs that we've gone through, correct?
Oh, yeah.
But it's not because of any other reason than we got to make this more, more convenient for the customer. We got to make this easier for you guys. So we've tried different ones out. So there's definitely things you can do as a leader in your business to empower your employees and help them. So many people are afraid to hire talent because they worry about replacing themselves. I've always said, like I said, I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. If I'm the dumbest guy in the room, I feel pretty good about it because I don't consider myself a complete dumbass. I might have my moments, but the reality is I hire people who have skills that I don't have. I don't hire people who have less than me in capabilities. That's not what I need.
That'd be silly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be like hiring a social media guy that doesn't know social media.
Right.
What's that going to do me? Mm-hmm. No, I went out and found a 21-year-old McLovin.
I'm hungry.
Organ donor from Hawaii.
He's an organ donor from Hawaii. But no, I found Garrett, and when Garrett applied, instantly I was like, he's going to know way more about this stuff than me. Like, he was talking about, things that I didn't even understand when we were talking. And I'm like, my man. Yeah. Like, he'd explain, like, you do it still today. You explain, like, picture stuff to me, like why something works or doesn't work on the internet. And I'm over here.
I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words. I'm deaf.
Like, I don't even know what he's saying, but it works, right? You know where we're going, what we're doing, and I try to learn. Mm-hmm. I learn from Garrett in a lot of things. And there's cases when Garrett brings something to me, and it's just like, I have experienced that before. I've done it. Let's not try it again. It didn't work the last time, and I explain why. And then Garrett's been open to hearing that. But it's because we have that relationship where I can tell him no because he knows that there's a reason for it, not just because I want to say no.
Right.
And the same for him, then he knows bring another idea. Don't just give up. So I think that's something to think about. As an effective leader, you need to trust your own skills, your own systems, and your own processes. If you can't trust the processes, skills, and things that you've put in place, then you need to revamp what you've done. I believe that 100%. As an effective leader, you need to trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, why are your employees going to trust you?
Right.
I don't think they will. You have to put the appropriate time into these things, and you'll get more out of your employees. They do everything they can to be a return on your investment. I've always said, cheap employees don't always make a better employee. Guys are so afraid to spend a little bit more money because they don't want the employee to make more money than them, right? Sometimes, like as an example, our sales guys, they do okay for themselves. But I have probably the best sales guys in the industry.
I agree.
Of course you do. But no, seriously. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I've never worried about talent. I will hire talent. If the talent's good enough, we're going to hire those people because they're going to always be worth the while. They're going to make our company better. And that's a return on investment.
Absolutely.
Empowering your employees to be successful. Don't throttle them back. The last thing I want to do is hold you guys back. Oh, you can't sell as many machines as you want. That's not ideal, right? Like that wouldn't be good for the company. So, let's talk about what things you can do around your shop to empower your people, your employees to be more successful.
You could definitely look for ways to remove burden.
I agree with that 100%. Maybe ask some questions.
What about your job don't you like?
Yeah, I agree with that. I love that question. That's good. Like if you just ask, if you see an employee that seems to be struggling, like what don't you like about your job? Learn about them. They're going to tell you what they don't like. Does that mean you can fix it? Like, I don't like talking to people. Well, you're in customer service, so you probably have the wrong job. Like, I can't solve that. You now know you have the wrong person, which we have done here. We've asked that question to people, and we've had people give us that answer. I'm not really a people person. Well, you're in a position that you deal with people. Like, we should probably find a new position for you. But there are cases where, you will learn something about your business, too. What don't you like about your job? That it takes me 3 hours to do a quote. Remember those days, Chad?
Yep.
That would suck.
There was days when Chad, that was a conversation Chad and I had. What don't you like about your job? And he told me having to do requotes.
Quoting.
Yeah, like the quoting process is too hard. So now we have a system in place. How's the quoting now?
Much quicker.
Yeah, like it's a lot easier to do your job because we listened. We asked the questions. Ask them what they do like about their job too. What do you like? Because maybe there's a way to make them do more of the positives, right? It's always said that in life, like you would apply yourself a lot better when you can focus on positives in your life versus negatives. If everything you do every single day is negative, and let me ask you this question, okay? This is a JB moment for you. My dad used to say to me, if you walk in the room and every single day you walk in that room, I hit you on the head with a hammer. Are you going to keep walking into that room?
Nope.
Eventually, you're going to be smart enough to go, I'm not coming into that room because I don't want to get hit in the head with a hammer.
You find a different way in.
You find something else to do. You go somewhere else, you do something else, you avoid that room. Whatever you're doing is to not get hit in the head by a hammer.
Right.
But if I walk into that room every day and hand you $100, you going to come in that room every day?
Twice a day.
Yeah. You're going to try to get in that room as much as you can, right? Every time you get in that room, you get $100. You're going to try to keep getting in.
Yep.
It's that ability that people gravitate towards positive things, right? So the more positive in their job and the more you can do to make them enjoy it, the better the results typically are going to be. They're going to want to be there. They're going to want to do more. They're going to give back because it's positive. So I think that's something to think about in your business is that as you look at like CNC machines, that might be a very positive thing for your business because it makes your employee want to be there. And being there means you're going to get more out of them, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's one of those things where we, as an example, we've given you guys laptops, Chad, right?
Yep.
If a lot of people I've talked to, and I have a lot of friends that are in business, a lot of them said, oh, that's a bad idea. Now the sales guys don't even have to be there. Like, I feel like you guys apply yourself more now that you have laptops than you did before.
Yeah, because it's easier. We don't have to like team viewer in.
That's my
Just
point.
Get right and do it.
So you don't feel rushed for one. So you get what you can done during the day. And if you have leftover work to do, I know you're going to do it at night because it's not inconvenient to do it. You just bring it home, you sit down, you have dinner, whatever. And after dinner, you log into your computer real quick and finish it up for an hour, right?
Yep.
Like, I know our customers are getting better service because we've given you more tools.
Correct.
So think about it in a shop that's doing everything by hand. You're cutting things by hand, you're outsourcing parts, whatever it is. You don't have a CNC machine. How hard is your employee working when he knows that there's a whole series of things that he can't control slowing him down? Right?
Right.
He can't cut more parts when he runs out. So he's probably going to throttle back because he doesn't want to stand around for half the day and get yelled at that he's not doing anything. He doesn't want to sweep the floor all day long. So your employee's not building cabinets as efficiently as he could because of the fact that he's also going to be bored then.
Or you're not getting enough or as much out of the employee as you
Correct.
can.
But now let's say you can cut your own parts. For one, a lot of employees think CNC machines are cool. So a lot of them are probably going to want to run that machine as much as they can. So that means they're going to cut more parts. Well, if we don't need more parts, we can't cut parts, right? So the best way to be able to run the machine is to get rid of the parts I have. Use more parts. Mm-hmm. So now suddenly they're building cabinets faster, turning things out as quick as they can because they can keep running the machine. They know they can keep getting ahead. There's an advantage to you having that. Not to mention, the number one frustrating thing for an employee is to do their job twice. I hate that.
I
It
hate
does
that.
suck.
Like, if you screw something up and you have to do it all over again, it's so frustrating.
I agree.
With a CNC machine, the accuracy is in the machine. So the likelihood of them cutting it wrong is a lot less. The advantage of that is other employees aren't going to be burdened by one guy cutting something wrong. The machine is going to cut it right every time. So you get a repeatability now in your job that now makes it a better environment for everybody because now you don't have one guy making everybody mad because he cuts things wrong. So now your camaraderie, now your, culture, everything you have going on in the business is a lot of times stronger because it's one less negative thing going on during the day. Because the worst thing is Friday at 3:00 when somebody cuts something wrong. Right? Everybody was getting out of there at 4:00 as long as this thing's done and it's cut wrong. Now we got to start over. Now we're here till 6:00. Everybody's pissed because one guy made a mistake, a human mistake. The CNC machine reduces that. The accuracy is a lot better there. I don't care how good your guy is. The accuracy of a machine is better than any guy out there. Consistently. The other thing you have to do is ask what they think, we as a company could do to improve the experience for our employees, for our customers, for our vendors. What are we doing that could make things easier on our vendor? We can't seem to get parts for this. Are we making it too hard on them? Find out where they see and hear weaknesses and be willing to hear them. Does that make them right? No. But at least it's something to consider now. You have another point of view. So many people get defensive that they don't want to hear the answer for the future growth. You can't do that. Maybe one product you make sucks. You need to hear it. Your employees will tell you, it doesn't work. This product does not work. We need to fix it. We need to revamp it. We need to, design. The shelving always falls apart in this one cabinet that we make. We need to redesign that cabinet. I know it's convenient, but we need to redesign it now.
That's where that trust comes from too, because your employees aren't going to feel comfortable bringing that type of stuff up if you're not going to be open to hearing it.
Yeah, if every time you tell them that the product doesn't work, you yell at them that it's their fault.
Yeah.
Right? Many times to upgrade the tools in the shop, you get more out of your shop then, right? Yes, your old table saw still works, right? We know it does. That does not mean it's the best way of doing the job anymore. It's not the 90s anymore. I get it. Your saw still runs. But there's times when you have to, we're guilty of that. We ran an old saw that my dad had in his barn for years. We still have it. It still runs out there for small jobs now, but it took us a long time to upgrade to a saw that's automated, right? Mm-hmm. Best investment we made, right?
I know a guy running it was happy.
He loves his job now. Loves it. Doesn't have to fix the saw every day.
Big old smile and waves every time.
Every
walk
time.
by.
I was going to say the same thing. Every time I walk by, I know that guy's happy.
Oh, yeah.
He smiles and waves every day now. Before he used to hit the machine with a hammer and swear at it.
Well, I forget how fast he said it sped up his process, but I remember
It was significant.
Insanely quick.
Yeah, it's significant. There's certain secrets there that I'm not going to give away. But yeah, it was a big difference to our manufacturing. But yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. We empowered him with a new tool that really our old one still worked, but it made his job harder.
It still works.
It still works today. So as you think about that, it's just because your old table saw works doesn't mean it's not time for a CNC router. Maybe you have an old edge bander, but you spend more time fixing it than you do using it. I hear that so many times from people. That dang edge bander in the corner.
I just heard someone say, I can't run my edge bander completely with the machine running and this guy doing painting. It's like, well, man, you need a new air compressor. Why are you running just a couple things and not everything at once? What are you doing?
They hold their whole production up because they're too cheap to buy an extra $300 air compressor.
Air compressor.
Right?
I can't do this because my air compressor.
I could tell you the best air compressor that we have for $3,000 with an air dryer, $4,000, whatever it is. And you're going to hold your whole business up all year long for $4,000.
It's crazy.
Right? Like, you're making everybody's jobs harder.
Turn
Hank-
off the edge bander.
Yeah, Hank's over there using the edge bander, and
The machine's on.
Jim's painting. I guess I gotta wait. Like, what? How is that productive? Like, we should all be able to run our jobs all day long. So that's something to think about. Upgrade your air compressors, add power, whatever you gotta do. But my favorite thing that I see in businesses is people complain about software. That damn program crashes all the time. That damn program never works. They complain about the program, right? And you're like, oh, what program you're on it? And you start talking to them, and it's like, it's from Windows 95. There's only one computer that runs it because it's the Windows 95 computer in the shop. You're like, why don't you guys just upgrade? Well, it's $2,000 to upgrade the new software. Okay. But then you don't waste $40,000 a year wasting your time trying to make the software work. Like, how much more efficient could you be if you just spend a little bit of money on upgrading your software?
Right.
There's a lot of new software that can reduce steps in many ways. Perfect example. We have a new software that we're installing right now. And it's much more efficient for a lot of departments because it helps us track inventory. Our ERP system allows a lot of people to do a lot of things a lot more efficiently than the old school way. That wasn't cheap. We had to buy that software, but it's going to make us a better company. But in addition to that, it did make it harder on sales. So we went and bought more software to plug into that software to be able to give you guys the tools, right? Mm-hmm. It would have been easy. I know a lot of companies that would have cut corners and been like, you know what, make it work. You guys just need to adapt, make it work. That's the easy way out. That's not empowering your employees. That's making their jobs harder. And when you make their jobs harder, they don't want to put more time into it.
True.
Right? So, buy that new computer from. Stop using Windows 95. It's one of those things where I always joke with Brianna. Brianna's like the queen of destroying things that shouldn't be destroyed.
The railing.
The railing in the office. That was nice of her. But she went through 3 phones. In fairness to her, I think 3 of them were used.
Wasn't she having laptop problems?
Yeah, then we gave her a laptop. She had problems with that.
It was one of ours. One of yours.
Yep, our laptop. She had problems with that. In all fairness, though, it was very underpowered. But my point was, she's struggling with this stuff, right? And she'll keep battling through it. We finally were just like, we need to get this laptop fixed. And we sent her down to get the laptop fixed, brought her to a laptop repair place. And yeah, they upgraded the memory and everything. And she said it's much faster. She calls it turbocharged now. But it's like something so simple, right? Making a small change to her computer can make her job so much easier.
And it gets more done in a day.
Correct. Well, that was my point. She's able to be more efficient because she actually doesn't have to wait on the laptop all day long. But if so many businesses would be like, well, your laptop works. Just do something else while it's loading. Like, no, that's not an answer.
Or they look at it face value because of a price tag.
Correct. They just look at that first up cost, right?
It's like, that's $200, but wait, we'll save that $200 and they can
The
get
first day.
more done down the road.
I agree with that. Yeah. Like, think about how many times that people just look at an upfront cost. That router's $60,000. Yep, you're right. It's $60,000 up front. But does that mean you're not going to get $60,000 back out of it? No. I mean, all the work you're doing anyways. I always look at that as guys are like, well, if I'm buying a $60,000 router, we need to increase our production. We've got to sell so much more. Why? You're already doing the work. Are you not doing work already? You're going to make everything you're doing more efficient. Naturally, you're going to make more money. Because you already have the work in your shop. Otherwise, your shop doors wouldn't be open. You wouldn't be looking. You didn't call me because you didn't have a need. Remember that. I didn't call you. I didn't reach out to you. I didn't cold call you like, hey, you really need to think about a router there, Roger.
I found your cabinet business on
Yeah.
Google.
Like, I didn't do that. Like, you reached out to me. At one point or another, you had a reason to reach out to me. You're just scared because you got to spend a little bit of money now. Like, it's okay you have to spend money to make money. And I'm a firm believer of that. Sometimes you got to do that. You got to start looking at ways of improving yourself. And that is empowering your employees to have new tools and new capabilities. What about adding a new employee to reduce overtime, right? Well, instead of adding a new employee, add a CNC machine. What about expanding your building, your space? You're, building out something to give you more abilities internally. Developing a department, right? Again, you're cutting all your parts down the street at somebody else's shop. Bring it in-house. Stop paying that guy.
Quit making the other guy rich.
I love that statement. Quit making him rich. You're paying his CNC machine. ShopSabre.com. But like I said, change is coming. Without a doubt, the next year something will change in your business. Like without a doubt. Empowering your employees will help you ensure the change you see is positive because you either are succeeding or you're failing. No business is just staying neutral. You have to focus on what you do today to ensure your job is successful tomorrow. And that includes your employees. They should be doing the same thing. If they want to be around in a year, they should be finding ways to be more efficient. They should be finding ways to make the company more money because that's how people get laid off. That's how things happen is when business becomes bloated.
Stagnant.
Yeah, they're not making more money, but the costs are rising. That's bad. So as a business, you should be looking for ways to make more profit, right? But as an employee, you should be trying to help your business determine ways that you guys can be more profitable. How can I make you more money? What can I do here to make my value worth it? I want to make more money for the company. I'm worth more if I'm helping you more. It's a lot harder to lay off the guy that's doing the work, right?
Right.
The guy who gets laid off is the one who's standing around the corner doing nothing.
The guy just showing up.
The guy who's just showing up, exactly. Or in some case, not showing up. But you have to think about that. Give yourself the best odds by looking at improving your position internally. So externally, you have a better outcome, right? Your business is going to do better if you can improve processes and things. And I'm a firm believer that you empower your employees by giving them more capabilities, by easing the burden, by making it less stressful. Every job has stress. Let me take that away from it right now. There's no job that you're going to go to every single day and it's stress-free 100% of the time. Everything you do ever will have stress. You have to realize a lot of employees, I always say that they take advantage for what they do have as well. It's always greener on the other side, right? Instead of complaining and leaving because it's the easy answer, find out a way to improve things around that place. What can you already know your job. You know your coworkers. You know your stuff. What can we do to take away the negatives of your job? Look at what you don't like about your job and make suggestions on how to improve that. That's how you can make a huge difference in a company, become much more valuable to that company, and not have to completely shake up your entire life. Because the scariest thing in life is changing jobs. I'll tell you what, that's one of the scariest things that you do because you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone. It's exciting for a day, and then you realize, holy crap, like I'm the low man on the totem pole. I don't know anything. Like, I hope they like me. Where do I eat lunch? Right, Garrett?
Right.
Where do I eat lunch?
I don't know. I've never switched jobs.
You've never switched jobs?
Not like
You've never had another job besides ShopSabre?
Not a full-time job.
That's awesome.
All your jobs before this were part-time?
Well, I mean, I was in college and high school, so I never worked I had internships, stuff like that, stuff that I knew was going to end.
I got
That's right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that you've never had to switch jobs. I mean, hopefully, if I do things right here, you won't have to, right? Mm-hmm. Garrett will be running this thing.
I made a career change to come here.
Yeah.
Completely different.
And was it scary right away?
Initially.
Yeah, because it's you're taking yourself out of your comfort level. But again, it's one of those things where what made you change your job? They weren't empowering you. They weren't giving you the ability to do more of what you know how to do. Like, you were very good at what you did. I can vouch for that because I actually worked for you or worked with you at that other place. But when you stop empowering people, that's why people leave. Mm-hmm. When you stop giving them the tools to be successful. If I'm going to make less and do more, why should I stay? Right?
Right.
I mean, it's what it comes down to. As an employer, you need to think about that. Buying equipment is one of those, it keeps guys there. It keeps them engaged. They're not going to do everything the hard way forever. Yeah, you might be able to make them do that, and that might be your philosophy, but eventually you're going to go through guys. You're going to burn them out.
That's what I always remind people with the machine is it's never going to quit on you. It's going to be there tomorrow. It's not going to be hung over on Monday.
Yep. If it snows, it's there.
It doesn't think the the grass is greener on the other side.
Correct. Well, that's exactly it. Like, a lot of times people's emotions get in the way of the actual reality.
Exactly.
And I think that's the good thing about equipment is equipment does not have that emotion.
Yeah, it has no feelings.
Yeah, it's a robot.
It's there to make you money.
It's there to do one thing, what you tell it to. So empowering your employees is not scary. Empowering your employees is a relief from stresses that you don't have to harness on your end. Like, remember that. The more your employees are willing to do for you and with you, the less you have to harness and accept responsibility for. You don't have to be the stress barrier on that. Like, let somebody else handle that. I let Garrett deal with a lot of the social media. It's one less thing I got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Does that mean I'm completely disconnected from it? No. I still check things out and I still am on there. And Garrett, there's times Garrett's like, hey, I'm going to this with my family. Can you keep an eye on this tonight? Can you do this for me? We work as a team on that. Sales, same way. There's times when Chad, you're like, hey, you know what? Can you jump in and help me out here? Like, I don't know the answer to this question. But
Absolutely.
I don't have to sit there and talk to every single new lead because obviously you guys are very capable. I've empowered you guys to know what we do and how we do it. I don't sit there and harness all that knowledge and only tell you what you need to know. Like, no, you guys can learn anything I learned. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Now that I've empowered you guys can do my job the rest of the day, and I'm going to split.
I'm going to empower myself to a lunch break.
I might do the same thing, Chad.
Where do you want to go, Garrett? B-52s?
Canes sounds good. Let's go Canes.
Shut up a minute.
All right, I will.
We're going to Canes? Wait, I'm in.
A company outing.
Yeah, it sounds like a company outing. That definitely sounds like a work meeting.
Now that there's no more locations, the lines
There's
are,
so many of them.
I know.
Dude, they popped up everywhere. Like, there was that one in Apple Valley only, and the line was like all the way to Burnsville.
Down the street,
Yeah.
a mile long.
It was so long all the time. Didn't matter when you go. Now, that one in Lakeville open, the one in Burnsville open, like they have all these ones open. Now it's like you drive to the Apple Valley one, there's like 3 cars in line.
All right, let's
I
go.
know.
Let's go.
The guy in Apple Valley is not happy about those other ones opening. I'll promise you.
Oh,
that.
I guarantee you he's not.
He lost so much business from that. Because
Other weaknesses, we're slow learners and we're not particularly good listeners.
It was probably because he didn't empower his Canes location to have a second drive-through order taking window to
Or-
speed up the line.
Or he's the owner.
That's right.
And the Lakeville location is his too. So he's just making
Yeah. There's that.
no, that's not it.
Probably is.
It probably is, though. In all reality, he's probably right. But yeah, so, you guys have made me really hungry now. So now we have to go get some Canes.
Food.
Is that a good
it
idea?
is. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well, with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
Garrett.
Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre.